Welcome to the Publishing Life podcast. In this episode, I want to talk about something you probably would not expect that I believe to be one of the best things that you can do to ensure your own success as a beginner publisher, or just, this can apply to anyone that works online as a beginner entrepreneur. Before we get into that,
what's up, Twin Man?
What's up, Twin Man?
How you doing?
Yeah. So this is what our YouTube content looks like when we're not together. We just record Zoom meetings, but it works. Quick thing I want to do before we jump into the content, which I'm really excited about because I am passionate about this topic. And I hope that this episode can spur a few people to take action on the thing we're about to say. Because all it really takes is
Balls.
Big fucking balls to take a big step in your life. But
to me, it's hard not to do this thing. But I understand for people that haven't done it before. But
yeah. And people have no idea what we're talking about. But you'll know shortly once we begin. Before, I just want to provide a quick life update on a few things. Just because we haven't put out too much content recently, and normally we like to update where we're at in our lives. So we've been putting out some YouTube videos recently, but it's been like the team. Dan Locke has been putting out a lot of videos, crushing it. So I know people love those videos, which is great. But little update on my end. I'm sitting in my new home, like in the city, like my new home city, not my actual new home, which I'll get to because I did just purchase a home.
What?
Yeah. But the new home base where I purchased a house with my wife, Charlotte, is Austin, Texas. And we've been here for like 3, almost 4 weeks now. Really happy to be here.
You arrive in Austin, Texas for the first time in your life, and within 3 weeks, you buy a house there.
Yes, we bought a house here.
Jesus. Yeah, this place is great. This is it. Let's buy a house now.
Yeah. But Russ, I mean, for some weird reason, like we already knew we were gonna buy a house before we even landed here.
Yeah, I mean, how bad could it be?
Yeah, exactly. How bad could it be? But people are gonna ask, why Austin, Texas? When you talk to people like us, so like entrepreneurs, and people doing things similar to what we're doing, and you ask them like, what's a great city? Like, what's a great place to settle down? Because we're looking to settle down somewhere. Hawaii is where we spent the last year.
That's where I am right now.
It's where you are right now. Hawaii's amazing, but it's about surfing culture. It's about beautiful beaches and eating poke, which all those things are some of my favorite things. But people still aren't like us, like entrepreneurs looking to do things. So when you ask others like us, where's a good place to go to meet people like me? Everyone says Austin, Texas.
Yeah, it is. It really is recurring. It's over and over. Austin, Texas. Like now,
for someone listening to this, I bet you'll hear Austin, Texas come up again in the next week. Confirmation bias, but it does pop up a lot. So that's why we moved here. A community of people like us. And we've already experienced that is extremely true. Tons of entrepreneurs here, especially in, there's a lot of different kinds of entrepreneurs, but like internet marketers, online entrepreneurs, specifically, there's a lot of, which is really fantastic. So that's why we settled down here.
And it's like for people in our position, we have an online business. We can literally choose to live wherever in the world, bearing, visas, passport, that sort of thing, wherever we want. And It's very easy to make the move.
Exactly. That's why we lived in Hawaii, Thailand, Denmark, Spain,
Bali, Croatia.
Bali. Oh, yeah, that's where we spend the most time. Croatia
and Maldives,
because you can. And it's one of the best things about having our own internet business that doesn't get talked about enough.
Yeah.
But the 3 big updates. 1, we moved to Austin, Texas. 2, we bought a home. And quick thing. The real estate market across America is insane. I'm sure most people know about that. But apparently Austin specifically is the worst in the country because it is a place where a lot of people are migrating to. So we had to pay like 35% over listing price.
And that price is already up like 30% from
Oh
what
yeah,
it was
the
6 months or a
listing
year ago,
price
isn't it?
was already double what it was 12 months ago.
Pull.
Yeah. Yeah. So, but that's what it takes to get a house. And we're like, fuck it. We like this house. No, actually, we love this house and we're okay with the price we have to pay.
Mhm.
So those are two big things. The third big thing is we got a puppy.
But he's not there yet.
He's not there yet.
But he's coming soon.
He's coming on June 26th. And Russ, yeah, I mentioned it in Slack, but his name's going to be Maverick.
You didn't even tell me directly. You said it in a group to everyone. Like, that's a
read
great way for me to find out the name of your dog.
I mean, the night before I showed you the names, the possible names, and Maverick was on there.
What made you pick Maverick?
So there's some names that I really like. For example,
I just think of Logan Paul when I hear that.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Right. He's got the Mavericks. That's like his following. But also like, do you know what what a Maverick is?
Dog. Oh, sorry, a horse.
Yeah. I mean, it's a independent horse. Yeah. Like a horse that's run away from its herd or whatever. But it's also like an independent minded person who doesn't give into groupthink and follow the crowd. It's someone who beats to their own drum, goes against the grain, and does what they believe is best.
So that's why you gave him that name?
Well, that's not why, but the meaning behind it, I can really appreciate it as well because I can kind of identify with that.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, there were names that I liked, which thinking back about it, probably not the best dog name, but like Thor. Something about
I like that one.
Also, because we're Scandinavian, like actually Scandinavian, not one of those people who claim to be Scandinavian.
Yeah.
Just because their great grandfather was like.
My name is Rasmus Mikkelsen. I mean, come on.
Yeah, come on. So I like that a lot, and it just sounds like you're just a boss.
Yes.
With that name, but maybe want to save that for a child.
Yeah.
Anyway, Charlotte didn't like that name. Charlotte likes some other names. I was like, she liked the more cuter names. Like, I don't want my dog to sound like he's some little boy.
No.
I want him to sound like he's a man.
Maverick fits that.
Maverick is kind of like an in-between. Maverick does fit that. And so we just both really like that name. And then for short, Mav.
That's nice.
Rez, what do you think of the name? Do you approve of it? Because I didn't ask for your approval.
I do approve, but I don't think it would be my top choice. But of course I approve.
Okay, I mean, what would be your top choice then?
Bubbles. No, I don't know. I haven't given you a chance to think about it. I don't know.
Yeah. Okay, let me go through the list that we had real quick.
This episode is about naming your dog.
Naming your dog. We'll get onto the content here real quick. We had 9. Okay. There's some good ones here, actually. The first one I wrote down, which I thought I was going to go with, was Kobe, in homage of the great Mamba. So we didn't end up going with that. I don't know why. We were just more drawn to Maverick, but I really did like that. Then there was also Dexter, because we love Dexter, one of our favorite TV shows. Kona is a cute name, but that's such a popular name. It's too mainstream now.
That's true.
Plus it's a Hawaii reference. Samson, we liked a lot, but there's a really big Instagram page that has this dog with the same breed.
So what you have to say what the breed of the dog is.
Right. Oh, it's a golden doodle. It's red.
A red golden doodle. So
there's a famous golden
poodle.
There's a golden doodle named Samson, which I didn't want to do, but here's a quick picture of him. Oh, here he is at 5.
Wow, this blue bow.
Yeah. Okay, let me get through these so we can we considered Samson, Thor, Charlie was his original name, Milo, and Caesar.
I think I would have gone with Dexter.
Yeah, Dexter's a good one, man.
So, Christy, you're the one that's telling me before we start recording, I want to keep these short, around 15 to 20 minutes. And then 15 minutes in, we're still talking about dog names.
Okay, get over it. Okay, let's get into the content. I did want to provide that update.
Now, this does play hand in hand what we were talking about before when it comes to moving, being that we can choose to live wherever in the world we want because we have an online business, and anyone that does publishing as well has the same opportunity. So what I believe to be one of the best things you can do as a beginner publisher is to move abroad and live as a nomad for a period of time, let's say around 1 year.
1 year.
But for many people, once you do it for a year, I mean, you want to keep living that kind of lifestyle. And that's how I felt. You know,
Sure.
we moved out from our parents' house in the fall of 2016,
17.
17, fall 2017.
Mhm.
And ever since then, I haven't had like
Mhm.
an address, like a place that I live and have things. It's
Yeah.
been living out of a suitcase, traveling place to place, just because I just fucking love it. Life is always exciting this way. It
Mhm.
doesn't get boring or stale. And there's so many things to do and see. And even though I've done my fair share of traveling, I'm 0.1% of seeing all the things there are to see in the world.
Mhm.
So, you know, we'll be buckling down a bit more for the next few years just to focus on the business. But I do want to get back to that lifestyle, like all in the future.
Definitely. Yeah, me and Charlotte were just talking about this earlier today. That right now is about buckling down. We just bought a house. We just got a dog. We'll have kids in the next 1 or 2 years. But then after that, then I want to get back into traveling and experiencing, because that makes you way more happy
Yeah.
than working and making money. It
But
just does. In my
for
case.
for anyone just getting started with publishing or another online business that can be done strictly just with a laptop and Wi-Fi, if you have the opportunity to go out and travel for a year, do it. Freaking do it.
Also,
I understand that there are people that have things that could stop them or make it complicated if you have family. I'm aware of that, and I feel it myself because I have a child now as well. But we're still working around it. But if you can realistically make it happen, do it. Why not? I want to talk to someone right now that's going to tell me why that's not a good idea for them to do. And I'm going to run through 6 different reasons why you should. I think it'll become, a no-brainer.
Yeah. So, Rustin,
you were talking
my biggest goal with this episode is for this to actually make someone do this, move abroad. So, I think the best way to do that is, I know a lot of people are going to have analysis paralysis. So, for example, how long should I be gone for? Where should I go to? They're going to have so many questions, and then they're not going to end up doing it. So what I want to do is give direct answers, the best answer we could possibly give. So I want to answer those 2 questions real quick. How long should you be gone for? Just start by committing to 3 months. Just 3 months. And you could tell your family, friends, be like, hey, I'm going to this certain location for the next 3 months. I'll see you back in September, October. Great. And you won't have as many objections from friends and family and calling you crazy if you have a deadline when you'll come back. But my guess is after 3 months, you won't want to go back. So that would be my first thing. Where you should go, that's an even harder question to answer, but I have the answer for you. It's Bali, Indonesia.
I don't see why not.
Don't consider anywhere else. Look, we've tried not even 0.01% of the digital nomad places to go. But
I'm sure there are places that are just as good. I'm sure there are. But I can say with certainty that
Bali is a bona fide 10 out of 10. Like, you don't even need to think twice. It just is. For any person who goes there is going to have that experience. So, yes, I want to get those 2 out of the way.
So reason number 1 why it just makes sense. Never mind that, you should challenge yourself. It just makes sense from a money perspective side of things. You will literally save money. Most people starting out are strapped for cash and they don't have much to invest. And, making ends meet can be tough. If you go to Bali, you can find a guest house to live in for $200 per month.
And it's a nice place.
Yeah, it's a room with a toilet.
It's solid. Like, it's not dirty or anything. So
yeah, it's not a little shack. It's a nice room.
Rasmus, the thing is, a lot of people, they'll be listening to this. They'll hear, move abroad. They're instantly be like, oh, this isn't for me because, I don't have a lot of money. I only have a few $1,000s saved up.
This is mostly for you.
That is mostly for you because you going somewhere else, like Bali, Indonesia, where the cost of living is 20% less than it is in places like the US and UK and Canada.
I kind of want to
be cheaper. It's going to be cheaper for you than staying where you are right now. But of course, the thing that you lose would be the job that you have.
Okay, I want to run through the costs of like the things that you need, the essentials.
But all you need saved up is, so this is a big safety blanket, is $5,000.
$5,000, you can survive for 6 months easily. That could stretch 10 months as well.
Yeah. Like to really make this happen, you really just need like $2,000 to spend 90 days in Bali, $2,000. And then maybe, I don't know what kind of families people have, but maybe your parents will pay for the flights or something like that. I know some people are older and don't have that luxury, but
let's
that's
say
the only expensive part in this is the plane tickets.
let's say you're an individual. Let me run through the costs. You can get a room for $200 a month. For transportation, you need a scooter for $30 a month, $40 a month, maybe. Food you could do for, let's say, $10 a day, just to be on the safe side. I mean, you could do way more, but $10 a day you can pull off. That's
That's
$300.
that's gonna be the most annoying part.
Yeah, the food
Because
part.
in Bali, you want to go out to eat, at restaurants with everyone else 3 times per day. And you can still fit $10 a day into that budget, but you're going to be going to Warangs, which is like Indonesian restaurants, which has good food, but that's where you get the $3 meals.
So now we're at like $550 a month. Let's give another few $100 just for other things, even though you don't need to pay for insurance. Maybe things come up. $1,000 a month, easy.
Yeah.
But you could easily get that down to around $700 a month. So $700 a month, you could live abroad, and somewhere like Chiang Mai, Thailand, it's even cheaper than that.
Yeah. So it's just cheaper. That's the first reason. It's just cheaper than staying where you are. But of course, you lose, the job if you have a job.
And secondly, this puts you in a do or die situation to make this shit work. You're throwing yourself into the deep end with no opportunity to fall back on some cushy job or watch TV, hang out with your friends. You're there to grow as a person and to grow your business while living cheap as well. Your back's against the wall. You got to make it happen. And I think that's when people perform the best and do the most, is when they're in those situations. And I think we have that same experience as well. When you're at the deepest, lowest point in your life is when you find the reasons to turn your life around.
100%, 100%. But on the other side of it, I don't want it to scare people. Be like, oh my God, it's such a high risk thing. No, it's not high risk. Worst case scenario, you just fly back. Boom, you're right where you started. Except you just brought a whole world of experience.
I think that's an important thing to say. What's the risk?
What's the risk?
Why not?
What's the
Give
risk?
me a good excuse. Sorry, I mean reason why not to. It would just be
in the comment section. What's the risk? Tell us. The only one I can think of. Again. This is not for people with like 3 kids and things like that. So I'm considering, single and whatnot. The only risk I'm seeing is if you have a job and you can't go back to that specific job. But when you go back, you just get another one. There's 1,000 of them. Anyway.
And when you go to a place like Bali, you're throwing yourself into a community of,
this is reason number 3,
other people from the first world, I don't know, US, Canada, Europe, that are coming to Bali. They can't work there. They also have to have some sort of online side hustle thing going to pay for their life, meaning they're all doing the same thing. At least in some fashion, they got some sort of entrepreneur online business thing going on. And there's a big community of these people. And it's really easy for me, speaking when I was there, it was so easy to make friends and meet people. And it's like, you always have something in common because most of the people are ambitious and they want to, really create something for themselves. People that take that jump to go and live nomadically, they think the same way.
Right. In our experience, you meet some of the best people when you're out traveling because you're out traveling, they're out traveling. That's an automatic filter to get out all the people who you probably couldn't connect with because they would never do such a thing. But this person has traveled to the other side of the world exactly like you are. So they're instantly a different kind of person. So you connect with people a lot better.
I met my wife in Bali.
I met my wife traveling in Hawaii
on a hike where if either of you, I'd pulled over to go to the bathroom before arriving at the hike, never would have met each other.
I know it is crazy.
Yeah. Now, here's another financial benefit to doing this. Now, this only applies to Americans.
This is number 4. You have to, it's a numbered list we got going on.
Number 4. Another financial reason, and you could save a lot of money with this. It's tax related. as an American, there's something called FEIE, which stands for Foreign Earned Income Exclusion. For Foreign Exclusion Income. Who cares what it stands for? The point is, if you are an American that lives outside the U.S. for 11 out of 12 months a year, so 330 days, I think is the number, you will get the first $110,000, 110, 105, 100, somewhere in that range, tax-free profits. I've taken advantage of this
0% income
twice.
tax.
Twice I have used FEIE to save last year $30,000 in taxes that I didn't have to pay simply for this reason.
Yeah.
And I mean, I would stay outside depending like what sort of income bracket you're in. $30,000 is that in itself is enough to stay outside. Never mind all the other benefits, but to be outside the US.
Yeah. Yes.
Now,
and the FEIE, it's not even this like loophole thing. It's like a really, everyone knows about it, at least who it could apply to.
And it makes sense.
And it's really easy to get on your tax return. So
I've learned that
something tricky. You just have to like check a box and then boom, here's all your money back.
they're really good at covering like potential loopholes and ways of taking advantage of the tax system. This is not taking advantage at all. You're outside the US, you're not using the resources that you would be getting when you pay taxes in the US. So they say that you don't have to pay on the first 110,000. And then I guess the assumption is that you would be paying taxes in that foreign country where you're living. But Bali's lawless. I mean, they don't.
Bali's lawless.
You don't have to. You don't particularly have to pay taxes. You
No, you
can't.
don't.
I don't even
You
know how
don't.
that works.
You don't.
Especially if you're only there for a short period of time. If you really want to live there,
Yeah.
I guess it's different.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's a great thing that is overlooked.
Mm-hmm. All right. Here's reason number 5. I think what holds so many people back in their lives is that they're too comfortable in life and just afraid to do anything risky. And this just takes you outside of your comfort zone. And when you do that, you just see that in other areas of your life where you feel more comfortable doing things that are uncomfortable. Mm-hmm. And this one thing just completely changed my life and just made me, I don't know, like a different person. I don't know how to explain it.
That is it.
I'm not afraid. I'm not afraid of things. Like the entire world feels like home and I'm okay everywhere.
Right. The entire world feels open to you. Mm-hmm. It's not just some foreign place. Like now the both of us, we can confidently go anywhere in the world because it's within our comfort zone to do such.
Yeah.
And it just makes you more at peace. It makes you feel more powerful, almost more in control. Mm-hmm. It just makes you feel really good.
And I remember when it wasn't like that. The very first time we lived abroad was in Thailand in the spring of 2017. Me and you arrived there, never having traveled on our own, scared shitless, completely like, oh my God. I remember you wanted to go home within the first.
No, I didn't want to go home. I was just like asking, like, maybe should we? Let's consider it.
So that may be how people are feeling the first time you do travel abroad like that. And yeah, I sort of need to reel it back and understand that it can be a hard thing. Because for me, I just feel so comfortable doing it now. It's not scary. It's fun and exciting.
Right. You know? Exactly. And when you haven't done it, then it's scary. And it's good when you can live a life where you're not scared of things.
Mm-hmm. But yeah, this comfort zone is so damaging to people because it just gets you nowhere. Mm-hmm. You just stay comfortable your whole life.
Yep. Now, reason number 6.
So this is for myself. I want to be able to explain this well.
No, this is the biggest one. The one you're about to say is the number 1 biggest one of them all.
Mm-hmm. So this comes back. You're eating sushi right now. For me, this comes back to the purpose of life. Like, why? Okay, dude, you cannot interrupt this with your sushi time.
I'm not saying anything.
Yeah, but I'm just staring at you. Oh. To me, this comes back to my purpose in life. It's not about money, all these things, right? I want to accumulate experiences. This is how I've always explained it, is that when I die,
it's a good one. It's a good explanation.
Yeah, and I'm laying on the, what do you call that bed where they do the thing?
Morgue?
No, morgue, whatever. They're inspecting my brain. They crack my skull open. They take a look at it because in the future they'll have this sort of technology.
Autopsy table,
sure.
something like that.
And then they're like, holy God, the memories and experiences this guy has accumulated is insane. He's seen everything.
Mhm.
Whoa, look at that. Like, let's say you could go
Mhm.
back and see all things he's seen.
Mhm.
Just like the craziest memories. And it shapes you as a person, as opposed to sitting at home, not understanding anything about the world. Because I see this all the time. I think my friend brought this up. Someone from like Vancouver, Canada, they took a picture of the lake, and they're like, wow, I was so lucky to be born in the most beautiful place in the world. Like, it's because you never left your hometown. You think Vancouver, Canada is the most beautiful place in the world. What are you talking about? You know nothing. I mean, I guess I'm glad you can appreciate the beauty in it, but the world is so big you haven't seen anything. I just want to see everything that there is. I want to experience the highest of highs. And that has always been out when I'm traveling.
Right. So the naivete, is that how you say it? The naivete of
Yeah.
someone to believe
Ignorance.
no, ignorance, naivete.
Continue.
I'm saying it wrong, but of someone to believe that they just so happened to be born in the most beautiful place on this planet. I know it's probably also just a phrase, but the point is that they haven't been out of their hometown. That's why they think that they have to be in the best place on earth.
This is
Anyway.
The more you see, the more places that you explore, the more you get to understand the world, the more wise you'll be as a person and just grow naturally without even trying. You don't even have to try. It's just going to happen on its own.
Mhm.
And
It's like,
I can't find a reason why you wouldn't do this if
other than
there. Because from a money side of things, it just makes sense. Never mind all these great life experiences that you're going to get.
Russ, is the only reason not to do so, again, other than family and this, like, and like, things like that, is fear.
It's fear.
It's fear. So, like, what makes life worth living, if you ask me, is the ups and the downs and the experiences and the craziness, not just staying in the neighborhood and the hometown you always grew up in, doing the same thing Monday, doing something a little bit different Saturday and Sunday, and just doing that for 70 years. And I just know that's how a massive majority of people live their lives.
Yeah.
And more power to you by all means, but you can't say that you want to live life that way when you haven't tried what's out there.
And 10 to 20 years ago, and of course,
what's out there.
Like 10 to 20 years ago, and of course, all the time before that, this wasn't even an option for people. In the past, how would you make money if there wasn't an internet, or if there wasn't, these easy opportunities to start making money online? And now that it is, take advantage of it.
Even just flying across the world is something that's only existed for like what, 50 years, like commercially, 50 years. Isn't it crazy the entire existence of the human race, and like what's everything to us as a human, what it's like to be a human, has only existed in an atomic size on this timeline.
We're very lucky. We're very lucky.
We're very lucky. It's the point. It's insane. Shit, Elon Musk's taking us to Mars soon.
Yeah. So, we're two people that strongly agree with each other, which makes this, it could be more productive if I had someone on here to try and tell me why you wouldn't do this. That's what I wish I had.
That would be good.
But yeah, in the comments below, or if someone's, a student of AA to listen to this, I'd like them to make a post in Facebook group, talk in our Facebook group, talking about this, starting the discussion. And this is something that I really enjoy talking about. So if anyone has questions about, specifics, whatever you might be thinking, I'm very happy to answer that, because it's just something that I really enjoy, and I really want to inspire people to do this. It has changed my life, and every single person that I know that takes the leap as well. It's done the same for them.
My last comment. I hope this episode sparks just one person to take action on it. Just one person. That would be really cool, because that means we changed someone's life. Because this is that.
Literally. It's kind of crazy to say, but truly. All right.
Right?
Let's wrap it up. That is the end of this episode. Any comments you have, drop it wherever there is commenting abilities. I don't know where you're watching this. Besides that, like, subscribe to the podcast or the channel, wherever you're watching it, and have a fucking fantastic day. Peace. Peace.